What's up, guys? It's Jonathan with One Big Impact. Hopefully you guys can see me all right. Anyway, so today's video is actually going to be... let me turn off all this excess noise. Cover my shirt so I don't get my freaking video taken, hopefully. It's probably already too late. But today's video is actually going to... And I did it again, damn it. Today's video is basically what is the difference between Atkins 20 and Atkins 40, or Atkins induction versus Atkins 40. A lot of people are very familiar with induction phase, and there's good reason for that. The reason specifically is because the biggest reason is it's quicker, okay? A lot of people don't like to wait, but there are some strangely alien type people that want to lose weight slow, which is fine. You're not aliens, you're just weird. No, I'm just kidding. But the difference is, okay, so basically understanding, I'll give you a basic overview of what Atkins induction is, or Atkins 20. So basically, you're going to have 12 to 15 carbohydrates, net carbohydrates through foundation vegetables per day. Your total amount of carbohydrates, including like things like cheese or heavy whipping cream and stuff like that. Just those few little tiny little things, or eggs, it's got like 0.6. Whipping cream, it's got like 0.7 or something like that. And so those will be the in addition, adding up to a total of no more than 18 to 22 grams of carbohydrates per day. Your fats are going to be about 6 tablespoons, and some people will say it's according to what I think the app actually says, it's according to what your body style is and stuff like that. Honestly, like, I saw results. You can tweak things a little bit like that, but the fats are pretty universal at about 6 tablespoons of added fats in addition to whatever your foods are per day. Meaning, if you were making a meal plan or something like that, it would be like 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of ranch, and a couple tablespoons of butter or something like that. Not margarine. But so it's pretty simple. That would be in addition to all the fats that are kind of in your fluctuating within your meats and your creams and different things like that. Also, calories don't necessarily matter when you're following induction, but that does not mean you can eat like originally. A lot of people are under the impression, the false impression, the myth is that Atkins, you can eat as much meat as you possibly want. Ain't wrong. Calories in versus calories out. If you eat 5,000 calories of meat, you are going to be 5,000 pounds. No, I'm just kidding. But like, seriously, it really does matter. Protein is kind of based on height, but a good general rule of thumb is if you're a little bit taller, maybe 8 ounces 3 times a day. A little bit shorter, 6 ounces, 4 ounces maybe, 3 times a day at your big meals. That's your protein. I would stay, this is me, this is not an Atkins thing or whatever. I would try to fluctuate your meats between red meats, fish, and poultry and stuff like that, as well as like pork and all kinds of stuff. But I would, if you're having problems with digestion or anything like that, I would go for the leaner proteins, and specifically like fish, chicken, and stuff like that, because your body's going to be able to flush it out easier and more efficiently. Now, what induction is recommended for would be somebody that has more than 40 pounds to lose, or somebody that wants to see quicker weight loss results. Okay, it is a lot more restrictive. Some people don't like it because of that, and that's perfectly fine. You're not going to get grains, you're not going to get fruits, you're not going to get nuts, anything like that. So it's basically vegetables, some healthy fats, some cheese and stuff like that, not really any other dairy besides that, and then some protein. It's very restrictive, but it's also favored. A lot of people like it because it is very restrictive. I'll be completely honest. I don't like the ability to have a bunch of fruits and stuff like that. If I'm not bulking, if I'm not going through a bulking phase where basically I can eat large amounts of food, I don't want a small amount of fruit because I feel like it tempts me too much to go a lot further than that. So there's people on the fence of both sides of that. Now, Atkins 40 would be if you have less than 40 pounds to lose, or if you want to go a little bit slower. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is you will have things like fruits, um, like berries, pineapples. You'll have things like cottage cheese. You'll have things like the occasional toast, some grains. You'll have some almonds and nuts and stuff like that. So it is a little bit more lenient, but it can also be for a lot of people a little bit more borderline dangerous if you need a very restrictive type of way of eating. Now, I personally do have both of these type of meal plans for sale. I have a 4-week plan, an 8-week plan, and a 16-week plan. They go $45, $80, $135. The most popular plan is going to be the 8-week plan. I just redesigned my meal plans, which is kind of cool. So going forward, we're using a different platform. We're logging sleep and stuff like that because that's really important. And I also have recently, I'm a personal trainer, and if you are in the Arizona area, please contact me. I have no problem meeting up with you and working together. But yes, plug. um, Now, the difference between these two, I'm gonna drink my coffee. Drink your damn water, by the way. Oh, I gotta bring my cases of water in here. So it's basically the same. Both plans, protein's the same, fat's the same, carbohydrates a little bit different. It gets a little bit stranger there. Now, a good general rule of thumb is to basically keep um, your veggies. You want to be about a third of your overall consumption. So basically, a third would be a third of 40 carbs. And if you're like me and you hate math, I had to do some math. And I'll be honest, like, I don't know what the hell a third of 40 is. So I did the math. And it is basically 13 carbs out of 40 need to be through vegetables. The rest would be through nuts, grains, um, and fruits and stuff like that. And a little bit of dairy and stuff like that, like sour cream and oh, and you can do, I believe you can do, I don't personally because it just doesn't really make much sense. But you can do sour cream in induction and stuff like that, which a lot of people like to do. Like they have these things called Pop Fit or something, what like a moon pop. The other day, they look like tostadas and they're basically big rice cakes. They have like 3 carbs, 3 net carbs, and you can put some like ground beef and make some taco sauce and stuff like that. Maybe put like a little bit of cheese, and then maybe a slice of avocado with some sour cream on top, and that would be your whole meal. You know, it would be one tostada or whatever. So portions are very important. A lot of people come into Atkins induction or Atkins 40 or Atkins maintenance and stuff like that, and they're under the false impression, like I was saying before, that you can basically eat whatever the hell you want. Now, you can't, but I will say Atkins is kind of cool. Atkins is kind of cool in the effect of if you find yourself throughout the day hungry, and some people are, it's funny because you get 2 different types of way of doing it. Once your body starts adapting to the fat, you'll find that you're actually probably not hungry, which is really strange. You're like, holy crap, I've been hungry all my life, and then suddenly I don't have an appetite. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's just because you're not getting those really high sugars, sugar cravings and stuff like that, because you've eliminated carbs and sugar. Therefore, you're not craving things, and you have a normal appetite. So it's not like you don't have an appetite. It's just like you're a normal freaking human for once, and it's kind of nice. But you do have to make sure you are eating no matter what, even if you don't have an appetite, because here's what happens. If you starve yourself, eventually your body's going to bottom out, and then you're not necessarily going to get cravings. You're just going to go crazy because all of a sudden you're extremely famished, like you're hungry, and you're going to end up eating tons of food. And once you're fasting for so long because you don't have an appetite, and then you go eat tons of food, even if it's good food, even if it's your carbohydrates that you're supposed to be having and your fats and stuff like that, if your quantity is way too high and you weren't eating, you go from that to that, and then you're stomach's going to expand with all this food. And even if it's all good quality, healthy food, it doesn't matter. It's going to get spilled over into your fat stores, and you're kind of defeating the purpose of dieting in the first place. Not that it's a diet, it's a lifestyle, but you know what I'm saying. So in addition to that, yeah, I think it's really important that you realize this is a lifestyle, and you can do refeeds and stuff like that. With my meal plans, I try to incorporate people have the ability to about 2 times per month. Basically, you have, I want to say a day, but I have to be careful about saying a day. I'd say a meal or an evening in which you basically eat whatever you want. And the reason I do that is for a few reasons. First of all, normality. Let's be honest, some of those things are really cool. You know, some of your favorite foods are probably not cabbage. If they are, you're freaking weird. No, but like I like vegetables. I'm a very vegetable person. I'm not really big on savory foods. I love sweet foods. That's my go-to and stuff like that. Ice cream, sweets, sugar, and I'm not saying it's good or bad for you. I'm not trying to give you nutrition advice or whatever. But let's be honest. Let's be realistic here. Probably don't want to live the rest of our lives without having the day where we can just kind of have fun and eat what we want. So I do it about once every 2 weeks. I let people that are following my meal plan, and that's obviously after you build your strength. You can't really do it in the beginning, and the reason you can't do it in the beginning is because if you have a negative relationship with food, unfortunately, dragging yourself back into it is a lot harder. So a lot of the times I will let people do that, and then they'll completely fall off. So that's a really dangerous situation. But in the same sense, you have to just prepare your mind. Hey, you know what? I get this one day every 2 weeks. I can kind of do whatever I want. So then you plan like birthday parties around that, or you plan like vacations around that, or you plan like quinceañera or whatever. You know what I mean? Like whatever you have planned, a girls' night out, guys' night out, drinking, or whatever you plan, you have to plan it to be very strict around those every 2 weeks. So it's really important. And here's the thing: you don't ever want to go shorter than that 2 weeks, but if you have to go a little bit longer, that's fine, and that's a good balance. That's a good way to practice your self-discipline, because you don't want to look forward to that day too much, because then you completely fall apart. And you don't want to eat, even if you do those things, and even if you actually incorporate cheat days or whatever you want to call them, refeed days, carb refeed days, or whatever, cheat meals, whatever you want to call them. You need to make sure that you're not eating buttloads of food. Yes, that's a real thing, a buttload. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. No, but seriously, like if your normal meal on Atkins is going to be like, you got your 6 ounces of protein, you got your few cups of ranch or not your few cups of ranch, your few cups of lettuce, and then some tablespoons of ranch and like a half an avocado. If that all equates to like this big, like a 7 or 8 inch plate, you should not be having a cheat meal like this big. It's really important that you keep your portions the same, because not only has your stomach shrank to that size and it's used to being able to process that amount of food, so you're going to feel like crap and stuff like that, which could be good as far as like not wanting to do it more often because you felt like crap. But no, seriously, if you eat too much, it's going to get spilled over into fat stores. And if you have weight problems, you probably are extremely carbohydrate sensitive as well. So know that if you're incorporating these type of things and doing these things on a more regular basis, like every 2 weeks or once a month or something like that, you will retain water because of the carbohydrate overload all of a sudden, but make sure you don't go nuts. I hope you guys like this video. I hope it made sense to kind of give you a little bit of a contrast between Atkins 20 and Atkins 40. If there's something that you'd like to see in the near future, yes, this is a challenge video. If you're new here, if you'd like to see something in the future, please put it in the description or in the comments below, because I have been on this journey for a while. It doesn't look like there's too many people that are on it. Everybody's jumping on the ketogenic stuff and stuff like that, and that's cool. That's awesome. I do ketogenic videos as well. Not so much, but I will be diving into them in the near future. Also, if you are new here, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. And if you don't want to go search it, I think there's 2 out there. One that really matters. That was a wink. That was awkward. I can't wink. I can't. I can't. Okay, this is weird. Seriously. Go in the links in the description below. Okay, and I'll put the actual link there. So you can just click it and it'll take you straight to Facebook and you can add it there. Answer the questions because we're specific. Okay, if you're selling stuff, don't even bother. If you're going to be a bully, don't bother. If you're not open-minded, positive, and looking towards getting support and spreading love, not hate, don't really bother because it's important that you come there with a really good positive mindset because that's what we're all about. In addition to that, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps if you do that. I appreciate all that you guys do. If you're new here or new on your Atkins journey or something like that, I'll put like links to the keto sticks and links to things like body fat percentage monitors and bathroom scales, measurement ribbons and stuff like that in the links in the description below. It helps me out tremendously when you guys use my links, and you can always come back and shop through those eternally. But it really helps me out. It gives me a small percentage. I'm an Amazon affiliate, and it really helps me out. But I think there's a few things that if you're getting started with your journey, you must track it. Even if you don't go in the description below, track your progress, track your body fat percentage, track your measurements, track the scale, track everything as a whole. Don't do just one part of it because it's like going to your job and saying your job's like, your boss says, you're the cashier today. You got to take money and you got to give change back. And then you don't take money all day and you just give change back. Well, you're going to be like thousands in the negative and you're going to get fired. So it's really important that you don't do just part of the process. You do the entire process with tracking and stuff like that. Journal, do all of that because it's really important that you get the most out of your journey. And trust me, when you lose 50 pounds, you really want to know where you came from. I promise you. It's going to make a huge difference. You guys have a beautiful day. Hashtag be stronger than your excuses. And remember to spread love, not hate. Peace.